What is up, guys? Here we have a third place deck profile here with Spellbooks, and here you've seen the space before at the 3v3 at the YCS, and yeah, he decided to play hat today, and he took what deck?
Spellbooks.
Good old Spellbooks.
Haven't played this deck since 2014, but I played it in 2014 when it came out with Judgment at 3, so...
Yeah. And here's the Spellbook playmat. Looks beautiful, by the way. So he's on pretty much uniform, basically. So he has the Spellbook playmat.
Yep.
All right, let's go into deck file.
All right. 3 Secrets, 3 Crescent.
Can I see the rarity? I really love it.
Yep.
Different English?
Got to get a third one English. Only got one. I got one foreign though.
Yeah, I know that you're a big high rarity guy, so I gotta see these
3
up
Crescents,
close.
2 Wisdom, 2 Towers, 2 Eternity, 2 Masters, 1 Life, 1 Fate, 1 Power, and that's it for the Spellbook lineup.
With there was an online tournament that happened at Moral Tech monthly. 71 players joined, and the guy who won had 3 Spellbook towers in his deck. What do you think about that?
I think 2 is usually enough. The third one would be nice in a few matchups, but I don't think it's really necessary most of the time.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Like other field spell matchups where they can just play their field spell over, you might want a third one because sometimes they just play it and kill it and you don't get any effects out of it because it's not destroyed by a card effect. So you want a third one there, so like maybe Madolche and the Mirror, but other than that, the 2
you could recycle the towers too. With
yeah, you
Eternity.
can recycle everything, pretty much anything in this deck with Eternity and more towers, yeah.
I see, okay.
And then I play 3 other spells, 1 Book of Moon. This card's really good in this deck because with Spellbook Magician, when you Book of Moon it, it gets its effect again when it's flipped.
Yeah.
So it's both defensive and it can reset your engine.
Spellbook of Moon.
Honorary Spellbook. 2 Pot of Duality. This card's good if you don't open Spellbooks. You can't play it. The only problem with it is you can't play it with Crescent. Crescent locks you out of other non-Spellbook spells.
That's an issue.
But sometimes it's just the best starter. There was a few games today where I opened with Crescent and Duality, and I just Crescent first, and then if I don't hit it next turn, I just Duality.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And you're never activating Crescent again until like maybe turn 5 or
you,
something?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes you do it on turn 2 because you'll Fate banish your grave, and then you'll recycle Fate with towers, and then you can just activate another Crescent.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So you have no Spellbooks in grave.
Yeah. The monsters, we got 3 Justice. This card's really good. It searches the Priestess, and it searches another Spellbook, so it helps you fuel the Priestess so you can summon it again. Yep. It also is one of the better things to use with Power because it's big.
Yeah, 26.
Magician, usually your normal summon on turn 1. It just searches for any Spellbook. 3 Priestess, of course, your boss monster. I played 3 DD Crow today. I was playing Maxis before, but I think DD Crow is better, especially in the mirror. Stopping Masters with DD Crow is really good, and against the hat matchup, you don't really want Maxi, and you don't want Maxi in the mirror either. Then my traps, I have 3 Fiendish Chain. I saw the one that won that event was playing Breakthrough Skills instead. Right. But Fiendish Chain, I think, comes up more often for me. Some cards like the Tribute for Cost, like the Madolche Angeli, aren't really. This isn't really good against that, but it's good when you just have to stop something and just stall, which happens a lot in the hat matchup. So there's a bunch of games today where I just Fiendish Chain their guy and just sit there and wait until I draw a Spellbook.
Because they can't attack with it.
Played 1 Torrential, 1 Bottomless, 1 Warning, 1 Compulse, and 1 Rivalry.
Wow, more traps.
Yep.
And a Rivalry in the main deck. How do you think about that?
The Rivalry in the main deck's really good. It's good against the hat. Sometimes they have a Trap Tricks in play and they try and activate Sanctum, and then you just flip Rivalry and they just don't get the summon. Yeah. The Compulse is the one card I might cut. It didn't do as much as I was hoping today. I might cut this and put in a Maxi in the main again, because this just doesn't do enough for me.
You weren't afraid that you might play the mirror match and the Rivalry would be kind of dead against that?
It was. I drew it in the mirror, actually. When I played it round 5, I drew Rivalry in the mirror game 1.
Okay. So
and
you were
it was dead.
The mirror match.
So the last hat tournament here, there was no Spellbooks in the top 8, and it wasn't very popular. So, I mean, I knew that Kevin played it because he's one of the local guys. I've played him before. Yeah. But yeah, I knew he was going to play it, but I didn't see that many others in the room.
Got it. Okay, sweet. Let's go into. Is that 40 cards?
Yep.
Sweet. Let's go into your side deck or your main deck or your extra deck, whatever you want.
Extra deck doesn't really matter. I didn't go into it once today, but we'll show it off.
But you could go.
Yeah, actually, I did go into it once today. I made a Shining Elf just because it was big enough so I could Spellbook a power over something.
26.
And its effect never came up. I never used it. It was just a big spellcaster. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So I have 1 Big Eye, 1 Draco Sack, 1 Thunder Charger, 1 Hierophant of Prophecy, 1 Downer Magician, 1 Exton, Nightmare Shark, Zen Mains, Alucard, Soul Silver Mountain, Dagusto Phoenix, Gachi Gachi, Herald, Ghost Tricks, Acute Boss, and Shining Elf.
Succubus. Okay,
Yep.
sure.
That's it.
Let's go to your
I've made this one before too, the Dagusto Phoenix, just for damage, because if you have 2 magicians, you can just triple the damage, go to 3K.
So that's like the 2 most important ones.
Yeah.
Shining Elf and Daigos.
Yeah, I mean, more often you make the level 2s than anything else, because the level 7s aren't really better than having 2 priestesses on play, but the rank 2s, sometimes you just don't want the magicians sitting there, they don't do anything. So, and my sideboard is 3 maxis.
Against Mermills, I'm assuming?
Yeah, mostly Mermails, but
Eternities.
yeah, it's also really good against Dolce too.
Yeah.
1 Dark Hole, 1 Dimensional Fisher for Mermails, 1 Soul Drain for Mermails, 2 Blackhorns, another Rivalry, 3 MST, and 3 Wiretap. This is probably the card I cited in most, the Wiretaps.
Okay.
Because so round 1 I put against Mermails. Round 2 was a Hat Fire Fist deck. Round 3 was another Hat deck. Round 4 was Madolce, and then round 5 was the other Spellbook deck that's in top 4 that you'll probably see the deck profile of later.
Yep.
With triple Spellbook of Power.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of misplayed against him game 2, but I don't think it really mattered. He summoned Temperance, and I had Torrential. I didn't Torrential, and then he summoned World, and World added back 2 spells.
Oh my gosh! And
then he recycled that World with Spellbook of Life twice.
Jeez.
So if I had Torrentialed right away, at least when he had a Book of Life, he would have Book of Life back to Temperance and done it again. But then World won't get its effect because you've already special summoned.
Yeah.
So he would have had to go for a Priestess, and then he wouldn't have had as many cards in hand. But I don't know if I would have won that game either way. I was pretty behind. So
would you consider playing Temperance in the future without the World? Or
I played Temperance back in like 2014 when I played this deck a little, but it seems okay. I'm just not sure it's necessary most of the time. I don't really want it in a lot of matchups, but it is pretty good in the mirror.
Got it. Okay. So Temperance not so great in the mirror. I thought it was be good in the mirror for sure.
No, it is.
It is
good
great
in the mirror.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But I don't think I need it against a lot of the other matchups. So I don't know. Like it's a brick to draw, and the version plays like triple power, which is kind of bricky too a little sometimes. But you have to cut traps, so you have less interaction.
Yeah. Do you find that Justice is really good in games 2 and 3, or do you think
Justice
that it's...
I don't think you can cut it. You just need more monsters. Anyways,
I
you
see.
just need more. That's just one of the ways to start. Sometimes you just have a Justice and a Wisdom, and it'll search your Priestess. Like being able to search your boss monster is pretty important.
Yeah, but I can imagine like it being going second, you know. But you do have Wisdom to help you go second a little bit better.
Yeah, it's also
power
just,
over something.
Yeah, power over something is important. Wisdom.
Yeah.
It's just more ways. It's more starters, and you need that in the deck.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Sean. And and he was able to get 3rd place at this event, PS5 event. And yeah, with the Spellbooks is still kicking live. Would you say in this meta?
Yeah, deck's good.
Yeah, deck's good. All right, cool. All right, thank you.
Yeah.